Okay, so just a quick recap. Okay, that Richard and myself we teach on the prop making aspects of the courses here at Coleg y Cymoedd, and Richard delivers prop making on the HND Creative Production Arts, and I'm the course leader for the BA top-up option TV and film for prop making. Forgive me for go through. Okay, cool. So as the other guys on the courses have said, that we pride ourselves here at Cymoedd with our relationships with productions that are going through. We've got really good links with going forward as well into the productions that are coming into Wales over the next few years as well. We also work quite closely with Wolf Studios and especially with Screen Alliance Wales, who as a college we're in partnership with, so that gives us lots of opportunities to get into productions that are coming through those studios. And we actually have the creature effects department of His Dark Materials working almost like artists in residence here at Cymoedd at the moment, which is really, really good news. Again, we work with lots of kind of really sort of famous kind of sort of institutions and brands connected to TV and film, etc. Students have worked producing items for the Welsh BAFTAs. You can see here a couple of the big stands that we used in the after show parties and also as part of the show event itself. My colleague Richard will talk about this.
Thank you, Alistair. So as Alistair mentioned, we do loads of things with local companies. This also includes theatre. So we do collaborative projects with other courses such as costumes. So this was for a theatre production by a company called Orbit Theatre from Cardiff. And we also do a lot of things with a company called German Productions, particularly with pantomimes and so on, where we make large-scale prop costumes such as the turkey and aeroplane and so on.
We also make sure that our students get out there and get seen. So for the last few years, we've been sort of sending our students to an industry recruitment fair. So it's an exhibition, but also a recruitment fair in London, where the likes of like Pinewood Studios and industry professionals, Paragon Creative, etc., come in and basically headhunt the best of the best. So essentially, really, I suppose if we're summing up, like if you want to get into prop making, it's about wanting to make things. It's about kind of making stuff, and that's kind of what we're going to be sort of talking about when we move on to show some students work. Again, as Caroline was saying, we pride ourselves in kind of industry professionals coming in. We've had the likes of Peter Tyndall, who's kind of worked on Dumbo and Maleficent, and we've had the Brian and Wendy Frau coming in, and kind of well known for the Labyrinth and Dark Crystal, and you might recognise some very handsome fellas in the photo on the top left-hand side. Okay.
We tried to get people in from industry to help us essentially teach you guys the most current skills around. So we're very much a hands-on making course, all about using different skills.
Yeah, I think that's right. You know, I mean, what we're showing here is like we use traditional kind of sort of fabrication in workshops, problem solving, drawing, kind of making prototypes using digital technologies, as well as kind of here we've got some images of using the forge, metal fabrication, etc. So that's all part and parcel about what we offer here, and the kind of sort of developing the potential you have as a maker, really.
Just to build on what my colleague Jane B had mentioned earlier, we also do things like life casting, which is a very traditional technique shown in the video currently. And this can be used across a number of specialisms, from prop making to makeup and special effects, and also for building masks and pieces for prop costume as well.
And what's really nice as well to complement these traditional skills is that the college has invested in a £20,000 laser scanner that can complement some of these traditional skills in terms of light casting, the 3D scanner. Okay, so just to kind of sort of round up what we can offer in prop making, we've got prop studio with individual workstations, so that's really important. So every student has their own space to be creative in. 2 really large industry standard workshops, and recently we've had a digital construction area as well. Molding and casting, wood and metal fabrication, work with costume props, so there's kind of like a synergy between the kind of two areas: sculpting, puppetry, and as I mentioned, digital construction as well, because we've invested in our kind of 3D printing capability, laser cutting, CNC, etc. Okay, so we've got a few bits of work that we want to, Richard, I want to kind of throw past you.
So what we'd like to go through is explain some of the areas we do, as many people think props are associated with just something you can hold, but the term prop comes under a large branch of different areas, really. So we do stuff such as prop costume, like you can see in front of you, mask making. We do a lot of things where we take measurements and molds off the body in an additional way, like you can see the students on the left, which is the start of a means to get to the frog heads on the right. We do a variety of different ways of molding and so on, and sculpting. We use different materials for different budgets, so this is very low budget for an outside event. We do more theatrical kind of stuff. Once again, the collaboration between us and costume construction there for a theatre piece. This is for a live production, so we do a lot of pantomime things. For example, this is a giant we made for a production of Jack and the Beanstalk. Daisy the cow in the middle, who cried into the audience, so we had to incorporate other things into it, and Camel and so on.
Yeah, and again, working with some of the guys in costume construction to assist in the kind of narrative of the costumes. We often get asked to make kind of props for our colleagues upstairs as well.
We do a lot of model making skills within the area of prop making. And this covers such areas as models for museums and so on. So all the insets by here were sculpted for a museum project and molded and painted and so on. So, yeah. We also do some smaller studies. So it's not always just about the end product. We have to do a lot of problem solving in props. So if you're interested in those kind of things and problem solving and incorporating movement and so on into it, we do smaller studies like this chicken, which was used as the
We get the picture, don't we?
we also do puppetry on the course as another avenue within there, and this is one of the second year students, actually first year student, working on a Roald Dahl project, coming up with a puppet to answer that brief. As I've already said, we do a lot of model making skills, and these can go down the area of more historical based projects, such as weapons and bits of ornate pieces such as the chessboard and so on. You can see here jewelry making.
And we've also done live events as well. Obviously nothing like this is happening at the moment, but certainly over the last 2 or 3 years, we've worked on kind of Fright Nights or Fear Fests, producing kind of practical props to go into that event as well. Also, Richard was alluding to earlier that we don't just do like kind of small hand type props. We can do big scenic type props as well. And this was used to raise money for the Nepal Earthquake Fund as well. All made in the workshop here, and this is all made out of polystyrene blocks.
These are a recent second year project that actually has only just been handed in just a week ago. We made some large scale Day of the Dead carnival puppets in teams, which was a really nice project for the students. Obviously, you can see the COVID kind of precautions in place there, but all built on campus because we are currently split between physical and remote teaching.
Yeah, so there's never a dull moment in props. If you want random, we're the place to come to. So if like this was a live production where they wanted an actor to come on stage on some kind of like model kind of rocking horse and be wheeled around, and we say yes, we can do that, and there we are. Also, soft props. So I enrolled my children to kind of model here. These are kind of just made out of foam, and again they were used for the same production. I don't know if you want to mention something like that.
So we work in foams, we work in sculpted materials. We also work with the area of jewelry making and historical pieces, as we've already touched on. These are some of the things that we took up to New Blades. which we briefly mentioned earlier. We also do props that can be used within a scene. So this is a mask that was supposed to replicate like an archaeological find, similar to that of Indiana Jones. Sculpting is a key player in the area that we cover, or one of them. It's fairly traditional skill, but used a lot for creature creation and so on. So this is a second-year student sculpting an alien monster she created for a project last year. We also do, as we've already touched on, weaponry and things for static models for
yeah, I think the turtle is what they call like a heritage model, isn't it? Yeah. And Pete on the left was just sculpting a gladiator helmet for one of his major project for his degree there. Yeah, so you know you can take your sculpting skills in kind of lots of different directions within props. This is a nice one.
This was a bee made by a second-year student, a scale model of a honeybee, which was used to talk about the decline in bees currently.
Yeah, and again, we can do all sorts here. This is a final major project based around the film Rocketeer from one of my BA guys a couple of years ago. So he kind of made the backpack and the helmet on the back there. So again, certainly as you go into the BA, it's much more sort of led. Thank you. Led by your kind of the direction that you want to take your prop making in. So whether you're kind of fabricating or sculpting, it really depends on you. So thank you, John, for that. And then yeah, so again, you know, this is a lovely drawing on the left by Andy from a couple of years ago. So in a previous life, he was a little bit of a concept artist and wanted to kind of explore things in props. So he came up with this idea of this kind of a range of fairies. And here's one he took through from design, from his sketches through into his kind of sculpting and his model, and then actually how it was displayed, and it all formed part of a theme. And this is kind of like hot off the press. So working with scale. Again, as a prop maker, you're going to like leave the courses that we offer here as a really good model maker and fabricator. You'll be able to do pretty much anything. And this project was literally just finished last week. And the students were asked to make scale models, 1:24 scale model, miniature models of St Mary Street in Cardiff. And here's some of the examples. Ultimately, they're going to be all bolted together, and it's all going to be filmed. So it's a little bit like when you see some these will be typically kind of used in kind of sort of action sequences or whatever, maybe a little bit larger for films. But it's all good skills that they can take with them into the industry. So yeah, so that's basically kind of what we do here in prop making. I'll just unshare the screen a little bit. Okay, so we can go back to me. Okay, so
I think the main thing to think about from perspective with props, guys, if you're interested in making and you're interested in a variety of different areas, whether it's film, TV, theatre, animation, and so on, I think the skills that we offer you will allow you to enter those different areas and have a solid grounding. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of our main selling point. We're a making course. Mm-hmm. We do have obviously written aspects and contextual aspects to it to support everything, but primarily we're a making course.
And I think the most important thing, excuse me, to take this off slow. The most important thing is if you're interested in making things or going into the kind of film and TV industry, you know where we are. We're in C Block. Richard and I are always around in the workshops downstairs. Come and have a chat with us, and we can talk in sort of more depth with you. Okay.